Mystery Bus!
Crime lies hidden in the puzzle, and the truth emerges through reasoning. Detective Stories of Inspector Chimp.
The Time Trick 1.
My child! Where has my child gone?
Mr. Rhino, owner of the Sylvan Forest department store, huddled on the sofa. He was pale, and he was covered in sweat. Inspector Chimp stood beside him.
Don't worry, Mr. Rhino. We'll help you find your son.
Just a few hours earlier, Inspector Chimp had received a report from Mr. Rhino, who said he hadn't seen his son, Ringo, since school ended that day. He had looked all over for the boy, but with no luck. Ringo was nowhere to be found.
We've sent the police to look for your son. I'm sure we'll have news soon.
As Inspector Chimp was comforting Mr. Rhino, a police officer walked in and hurried to Inspector Chimp's side.
Inspector Chimp, this was found in Mr. Rhino's mailbox.
The officer handed Inspector Chimp a white envelope. Inspector Chimp's brow furrowed.
Oh no. Is this a kidnapping?
Inspector Chimp opened the envelope.
Huh?
A tiny watch fell from the envelope. Mr. Rhino nearly fainted when he saw it.
Oh, it's Ringo's.
Hang on, Mr. Rhino. I got you.
The officer rushed to help Mr. Rhino. Inspector Chimp reached into the envelope and pulled out a letter.
Want your child back? Then you better be prepared to pay the price. So it was a kidnapping.
Inspector Chimp looked closely at the letter, trying to find some clue.
The kidnapper sure is cunning. He cut these words from the newspaper and pasted them to the page. There's not a single clue about him here.
Inspector Chimp carefully put the letter away. He turned to Mr. Rhino, who sat crying on the sofa.
Don't worry, Mr. Rhino. We'll rescue your son. Right now I need you to think. Have you seen anyone suspicious around your house recently?
Anyone suspicious?
Mr. Rhino sat with his head in his hands. Suddenly, he slapped the sofa and stood up.
Oh, I know who it is. It must have been him.
Mr. Rhino extended his arm. There were 3 long claw marks down his forearm.
Inspector Chimp, it must be Cyril Serval. He used to work for me in my department store, but I fired him for stealing from the company. He's been mad at me ever since. He fought with me and said he would get back at me. Let's go find him now.
Mr. Rhino was about to run out, but the police officer stopped him.
Calm down, Mr. Rhino. We don't have any evidence to prove Cyril is the kidnapper. And even if he is, do you think Ringo will be safe if you burst in without a plan like that?
Oh, yes, you're right. Well...
Mr. Rhino sank back to the sofa like a deflated balloon.
Then what can I do?
Suddenly, Mr. Rhino's phone rang. Inspector Chimp signaled for everyone to keep quiet.
Mr. Rhino, it's probably the kidnapper calling. When you answer, put your phone on speaker and don't be nervous. Just find out whether Ringo is safe.
Okay, I got it, Inspector Chimp.
Mr. Rhino picked up the phone, his hands shaking the whole time. A cry came over the phone.
Daddy, help me! Daddy!
Ringo? Is that you? Where are you? Are you okay?
Mr. Rhino shouted into the phone, but on the other end, Ringo's voice was cut off, and it was replaced by a muffled voice.
Hey, Rhino, did you get the letter I sent you?
You! Who are you? What do you want? Don't hurt Ringo. I'll do whatever you want. Money. Yes, sure, I'll give you money. Anything, just give me back my little Ringo.
No. I don't want money. I want something else. I want your horn. And I mean the whole thing.
What? My whole horn? If I dig out the entire horn, I'll be dead. Drat you!
Yeah. Oh, do you mean you don't want to give it to me? Then I'll just hang up, huh?
Wait. Let me think about how to do it.
Well, that's more like it. Do you want your son, or do you want your life? Think it over. You've got 2 days. I'll call you again then.
Hey, wait, hello?
Before Mr. Rhino could finish, the kidnapper hung up. Mr. Rhino looked at Inspector Chimp.
Mr. Rhino, did you recognize the voice?
No!
Mr. Rhino shook his head helplessly. Inspector Chimp raised his chin, lost in thought. His mind ran wild.
The kidnapper sent a letter made of words cut out from a newspaper. That means he's being very sneaky and trying not to get caught. Instead of asking for money, he specifically wants Mr. Rhino's horn. It seems like he's doing this to get back at Mr. Rhino, like a form of revenge. This also suggests that the kidnapper knows Mr. Rhino well and is very clever. He's planned this very carefully.
So, what now, Inspector Chimp?
Mr. Rhino looked anxiously at Inspector Chimp. His eyes were red. He reached up, like he was ready to pluck out his own horn.
Never mind. I'll give him my horn. Whatever it takes to save my boy.
Hold on there, Mr. Rhino.
Inspector Chimp restrained Mr. Rhino's hand. He looked at the letter again, his eyes burning.
2 days. We still have 2 days. I'll figure this out, and I won't let his plot succeed.